You're listening to the Aesthetically Speaking podcast, presented by Nextech.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Aesthetically Speaking podcast. I'm Robin Ento, and I am your host today. Recurring services like wellness, IV therapy, and weight loss are really attractive to patients, but plastic surgery practices and many medical spas are operationalized around surgical journeys. To start up a recurring or subscription-based program can be a lot of extra work. But when there's a hot new treatment of any kind, speed is everything. Today, we're here at AM Spa meeting in Las Vegas with Judy Kozlicki. For those of you who don't know who she is, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin. Judy Kozlicki, yes, from Skytale Group. I head our aesthetics and plastic surgery practice, which is really the management consulting. And we act as strategic advisors for clients that have aesthetic practices that want to grow and scale and potentially offer new service lines like wellness. I come from a background of med spas initially and did help scale a national med spa multi-chain site to 33 locations, and then have since then worked with plastic surgeons to help grow and scale their practices.
It's amazing. You have definitely got some industry knowledge and probably some really great stories.
I do have good stories, yes.
The stories are always fun.
Yeah.
But let's talk about wellness because it's such a hot topic at this show. There's just so many more vendors around here. There's a lot more sessions about it. And I think that specifically around weight loss, we're seeing so much of that. Where do you think that fits into a practice? Whether it's plastic surgery or med spa, do you really see that as being a game changer? Or what is your perspective on it? And how do you feel that practices should think about it?
Yes, I'm a big believer. I think it is a game changer. And what's interesting though, Robin, is that I've seen wellness since like 2010.
Yeah.
So that was in the med spa world, but some of you know wellness to be hormone optimization. So bioidentical hormones, that's kind of where things were beginning. And to me, that internal health along with external beauty is synergy.
Right.
And so whether it's a plastic surgery practice or a med spa, if we're helping people feel better, they in turn generally want to also look better. Or vice versa. If they're coming in the door to look better, they want some laser or toxin treatments or things like that. Just natural aging process is we slow down, our brains slow down, and there are so many things that we can be doing to help treat to feel better internally. And I mean, quite honestly, nutrition, all those things play a factor in your skincare and how your health and aging, but also in the healing process post-surgery. So wellness is a big topic. How do people define it too?
True.
Right now, it's a hot topic because of weight loss.
Right.
Okay. So, but there are peptides, there is regenerative medicine, people trying to include better nutrition, again, for internal and external reasons. But it's a big one.
How do you feel that med spas are looking at this? Like, so there's med spas that might be just bringing in weight loss. Where do you think that fits in a med spa? And do you find that there's, any type of risk or concern around how they manage that patient journey? Think about it. They need prescriptions usually, and they need labs. And do you find that they're bringing that into the practice and they're having the solutions in play and the training and they're operationalizing it? Do you think that that's really something they're doing well, or there's just a big gap there?
I think there is still a big gap there and understanding. I think from a business perspective, I'll speak to first versus then operationally and clinically. From a business perspective, everybody's jumping on this bandwagon, right?
Yeah.
It's hot. Everybody wants it. Patients want it. So we should offer this. The time is now. But if a med spa approaches it and just says, I'm going to offer weight loss, and they don't incorporate the kind of, again, synergy to aesthetic treatments and introduction to the rest of their practice, it's going to bring them some ancillary revenue, but it's not going to be a game changer in their practice. That's my opinion. That's some of what I've seen.
Okay.
So I think the practices that are doing well with weight loss are counseling their patient right from the start about here's what's going to happen as you lose this weight. Your skin will become more lax. We do lose volume in our face quickest, right? You see it when people lose weight.
Right.
It's like, oh, I noticed it in their face.
Yeah.
So with that volume loss, with skin laxity and some of the other things, we have other treatments that can help you. And where I see the really successful practices incorporating it is that they incorporate that conversation right from the start.
Interesting.
Here's what to expect, right? As side effects, as you lose weight, you're going to feel great, all these numbers of things. And yes, we're going to get you to your weight loss goals. But along the way, there are some side effects. And we want you to be aware of it so that we can start proactively treating those.
It's really interesting that you talk about how they really set the expectation. They set the stage well. Do you find that they're using any software tools? I'm starting to see more imaging tools and skin analysis tools that are out there. Do you find that they're incorporating those types of tools to help set expectations?
I think they should. I'm here, at the Med Spa show,
Right.
and I'm walking, trying to learn about what's out there, and I'm seeing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's like go back to the days of Vizia, which
Yep.
obviously is still king, for skincare photo, skin analysis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tool not only to help you see what can be,
Right.
but also to track.
True.
And I think being able to show people not just photos or take measurements or actually look at those weight loss numbers, when you have like some of the 3D imaging I'm seeing,
It's pretty impressive,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Do you see many practices that are actually that you've seen them incorporated, or are they still just?
I haven't seen it yet, just
Okay.
personally. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it's not out there, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think there's so much that's new still,
Mhm.
and they're still trying to kind of put it together. But I think you bring up a good point. I think the other thing that you were saying that is very fascinating is so often in any type of aesthetic type of practice, if they're just treating the one problem and not giving that patient that full overview of what everything could be, this is what will happen. And these are some other things that you should consider. I think it's interesting you bring that to light because I think it's great that you're talking about it from a weight loss perspective because it's true. But I think it just is part of anything that you do in aesthetics.
Mhm.
So even if you didn't bring weight loss into your practice, I
Mhm.
think it's smart to really give that patient that full perspective, give them a plan. And more and
Yes.
more people, I think, are looking for that type of solution.
Yes, 100,000%. All of the practices that I've managed and, continue to work with as clients, we talk about that comprehensive consultation. When a new patient comes in, they don't know what is Tixel, what is this, what is that? There's so many technologies out there. What do they really do? How about what are your concerns? What is it that you're seeing that you would like to
Yeah.
improve? And if we talk about it all, some clinics worry that it's overwhelming and too much, but why not provide the answers, and then let's plan this out.
Yeah.
Like it's a journey
Yeah.
and it's going to take some time. We don't need to do it all at once, but yeah, I think that's a really important step for all of it, aesthetics and wellness.
Weight loss is popular right now. Do you think that this is going to stick around?
I think it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything we see from the news reports in the big pharma as well as our compounding, the studies are showing there are so many more health benefits that are coming to light because of it. I know people personally who've, improved their cholesterol, their liver enzymes, all of these things after going through this kind of weight loss journey. And a PCP told this patient, if you can stay on this for life, I would.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to bring a new type of patient to an aesthetic practice that may not have ever been there before?
Very well could. It very
Yeah.
well could. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I think about the generational differences too, but I think about, is there that endocrinology type of practice that builds a relationship with an aesthetic practice that does wellness or a wellness practice that adds in aesthetics? And then all of a sudden there's this new referral base because those diabetic patients or those patients that are got cardiovascular problems are now finding their way into these wellness centers. Maybe if they're not, I mean, maybe if they're labeled a med spa, that may not be the case. But I think if they've labeled it and there's a sense of understanding that it's wellness, do you think that that could actually even drive a new type of referral base into practices?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Again, internal, external.
Yeah.
It's we're now treating the whole patient.
Yeah. I think that it goes back to that whole opportunity that you can bring to that patient that's only interested in weight loss. If the practice does a good job, like you said, of setting those expectations, it makes such a difference.
Mhm.
It's very
Mhm.
interesting. Have you worked with any early adopters of weight loss?
Yes. Yep.
Tell me a little bit about what were some aha moments with them that were shouldn't have done this, should have done it this way, some learnings maybe, I
Yeah.
think.
I think because, like in one case, it became so popular and so big that just like operationally became very challenging to manage that volume of patients
Really?
and the follow up.
Wow.
And what I've seen work well after the initial consultation and visit and all of those things is actual telemedicine.
Really?
Virtual follow-ups are work perfectly fine because it's really just a check-in. Once the patient's kind of found their dose, found their groove, there may need to be an increase in dose or something like that, but why not do that virtually? And then, the patient has the convenience of picking up their meds whenever. There are other practices who want to see that patient in the practice.
Really?
There's benefits, obviously. If I have a touch point with you, I have another opportunity to talk about other things and do
Right.
that. Again, I think you probably limit yourself on capacity
Yeah.
by doing that. So,
Do you find that the physicians themselves are actually doing those initial exams, or are they employing NPs or PAs or other personnel to do that?
yeah, I think many start that way. Certainly, your average plastic surgeon doesn't want to take a lot of time, consulting on that. So, if we have a mid level NP or PA, that's perfect and can do that. I also am becoming highly aware of outsourced nurse practitioner clearance kind of companies that
Oh,
you can hire to do again that through
that's
telemedicine.
fascinating. Yeah.
Mhm.
Really?
And I think it's going to surge hugely with this weight loss.
So you're saying they're not hiring or employing them.
Right.
They're using a third-party company
Correct.
to manage
Who's
that.
licensed in the same
Okay.
state and
Okay.
market. And if you think about it from an overhead standpoint, it is much less expensive
Right.
and space and convenient. I'm sorry, everybody's looking for convenience these days.
Oh, yeah.
Telemedicine is huge. I mean, pandemic brought it to us.
Right.
And it's also here to stay.
I still think there's a lot of physicians or practices that don't really embrace it. They did it
I
because
agree.
they had to, but I
Yeah.
don't think they embrace it.
Right.
And I go back to, are they really understanding the power of it? And I think maybe this is another way that it kind of comes back to them. But I'm interested a little bit more about these third parties. I had not heard about that.
Mhm.
Are you seeing that there's just like one source, or there are multiple companies out there?
There's a few.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a really solid business
Really?
and growing very rapidly.
It's fascinating
Mhm.
because I've seen it, where you'll see it with radiology and they'll have physicians or even nurses. I didn't even think about it for this space.
Yeah, well, think about it. It their business, the one I'm thinking of, began as there are some states where you can't even treat without having that medical clearance, right?
Right.
A nurse practitioner or somebody has to see the patient or
Right.
an MD before they ever start treatment, and you have to write their whole prescriptive, what are you cleared for? Generally, that clearance lasts for a year, but we need to update and go from there. And so it kind of began in the aesthetic space, and they can clear for toxins, fillers, whatever, aesthetically. But with this weight loss boom and the need, and I think even on the follow up side, right? Why not?
Yeah, it makes sense. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
And do you find that they're working with just the one practice, or are they working with multiple practices?
Multiple.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different way to think about how to operationalize it if you think about it.
To me, it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's fantastic. What other really cool learnings or insights have you found similar to that?
That's my best one right now. And it's an interesting thought because, again, people like to build that relationship. And I preach it all the time. This is a relationship business. So your team and who you have on board, and we're building patient relationships so that we have a lifetime patient. But why not even build it with this outsourced, telehealth nurse practitioner too? What else is cool? I want to go back to surgery.
Okay.
Because I think that's where is an interesting link for a long time. There is a basic BMI that is too high to operate on.
Right.
And patients are turned away because of that. And that's kind of defeating, right? Because maybe you're only 20 pounds overweight or whatever, but it's not safe, right?
True.
It's not safe. So now I'm coming, I'm a patient. I want to come have my plastic surgery. But if I'm overweight, if they offer weight loss and give me a solution, you are still seeing that patient. You're like, you know what? Your BMI is just a little too high right now, but we can help you get there. And then we'll plan your surgery for this date. That to me is also brilliant.
I think it's brilliant because you're actually in a really soft way helping the patient still achieve what they're looking for. And you're then now building that relationship. Because like you said, that's a relationship. It drives so much of it.
Right. Now you've really increased your journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes, that's a big difference with surgery versus med spa or medical aesthetics.
Right.
Because of the recurring nature of our med spa procedures, and surgery is generally a one-time thing,
right.
Or you want more later in life. But we're always looking for ways to extend the patient, the lifetime relationship and value.
That's right. That's right. You had said something interesting that I wanted to talk about, which is recurring revenue, recurring services. What do you find is a good way to manage those recurring services within a practice?
I see it mostly done in monthly payments. It generally because the prescription is for a month.
Right.
And so it works well, whether that's an automated pay, great. I do see that quite a bit and it works. Or I also see it sold in packages. So maybe by 3 months up front. So lots of creativity on the front side.
Yeah.
But then once you get to a maintenance, you might as well just put it on a monthly auto pay.
Right.
Right.
Do you find that practices are thinking of this as part of a membership where other services would be included? Or do you think practices are thinking like that yet?
They're not quite getting there yet.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of goes back to my original statement about being really adept at suggesting what may happen and what else we may need to do to really help you look and feel your best in this weight loss journey.
Do you find those that are actually having that conversation, thinking of it from a total solution, are they engaging in just let's get the weight off and then we'll talk about these other things? Or are they incorporating it as they go?
I see both.
Yeah.
And so some would say, let's get the weight off, and at your 3-month visit, then we'll start introducing some things. Again, I'm partial because I've seen success with talking about it earlier. Maybe if you don't want to overwhelm a patient, it's at least at that 2-week follow-up or in the initial first month. Great, you're feeling good, you're losing weight. Now let's talk about how we can also kind of enhance your experience.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that practices that are thinking about this as a service, do they find that they need to add like nutritionist or someone that they can add that additional type of expert into the business, whether they're part of the practice or a third party that works outside of the practice? Are you seeing that very often?
I'm seeing that more and more. Also, like everything's new and growing, right?
Right.
I do think it's a really valuable thing to add, in particularly if you are very heavy wellness focused, right, in the practice. Like this isn't just another service opportunity,
right.
But if you're thinking about it, because quite honestly, everybody knows the studies say once you stop taking the medication, you're going to gain the weight back unless you make life-changing habits. So having a nutritionist or a counselor kind of, work with you on making those lifestyle changes, you will be on the drug for life. So,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think that it just goes back to what are the things that you feel like from a business perspective you have to put in place. So like if you had to sit down with a practice that was brand new and you said, okay, these are the 10 things that you need to do or 5 things that you need to do to really just kick this off, what would probably be your top 5 things?
you need a champion,
All right.
like a champion in your organization that really believes in it and is not just in it for the money and the revenue that's happening right now. By champion too, so this will be 2, it should be someone like I do think a nurse practitioner or a PA is perfect for this because many of them went to school to be family nurse practitioner, right? They understand the whole wellness body and that. And so having someone that really understands and maybe can bridge the gap of nutrition and counseling and supplement, whatever, is also helpful. You need to have a really good understanding amongst your entire staff of what this program and procedure, entails. Meaning before, after, there's a zillion questions that come, right?
Right.
And if your front desk doesn't know how to field them, you're going to look like, oh, maybe I don't want to go there because there's a
True.
lot of opportunities, right, down the
Yeah.
street where I can go. So I think making sure that everybody is really well versed. And as things change, because it's changing frequently, that we continue to update and educate the team.
Right. Is that something as one of the services that you provide? Do you help do some of that staff training and coaching?
Yeah, we do. We
That's
do.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate the fact that you think about the entire staff and their understanding of it, because so often you'll interact with a practice and there'll be, again, that one person that maybe is the champion that knows it really well, but that never transitioned to the front desk. So the person's answering the phone and they don't know how to answer it and they fumble it. And then, like you
And
said,
then they're gone.
that they're gone. And that key gatekeeper just doesn't know how to manage it. And
Right.
so it just doesn't get over the goal line. And then that patient's gone or that lead's gone. Do you find that the website is of any help at all to these practices, or is it just like they become, the information's the information? Is there any, key things about that would help grow a practice and actually launch it?
I think that's a great question. To me, when I'm going back to the launching of bioidentical hormones,
Yeah.
it's life-changing for one. And I think large weight loss is also life-changing. And there's so much nuance to it that having a personal story or a patient story or a patient testimonial is extremely beneficial, more so than here's this page on our website that says we do this.
It makes sense.
Find a way to have a podcast or a testimonial, tell the story.
Yeah. It sounds authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds real.
Well, and it's relatable. There's
Exactly.
just more to say. It's not
Yeah.
an easily marketable,
Yeah.
put it on a page or an email blast.
Yeah. I mean, everybody shows before and after pictures. And while they're powerful, I think it's the story that evokes the emotion.
Agreed.
And again, brings forth that authenticity that, we're starting to see that's the expectation in that younger generation. They want to see authentic and they don't want
Yeah.
to see something that
Yeah.
sounds fake or just it's like everybody else. So I think that's a really solid point to think about. Your website has to have the uniqueness of it. And I think it goes back to what you originally had said about really setting that expectation, because if the journey is more than just the weight loss, then you're showing a total solution. And your website's a great place to do it. Do you find that beyond the website, practices are using other forms of social media to get that out there?
Well, that's the answer. Social media for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. We have the advantage now of, live reels, etc.
Yep.
And so much information can be portrayed in
Yeah.
these little snippets, and you learn a lot. And I appreciate practices that use social media for education. because that's how these younger generations, that's how they're getting their information,
Right.
right?
Right. Not so much me, but yes, I can appreciate it. Hard for
Yeah.
me to do that, but I do see where that's been powerful. And I was doing some research on it, and it was one of the things that was resonating was how powerful that has been for those that have put it out there. But what I was seeing that it was more from the actual patient that had been going through that they were providing their story and their
Mhm.
outcome and what they were doing and their journey, and less of the practice was actually using that or emphasizing it, which
Mm.
I thought was interesting because you would think the practices would want to harness the power of
I
that
would.
message,
Yeah. I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it
It
makes
goes
sense.
back to, why do we ask for reviews,
Right,
right?
right.
It's 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 our version now of word of mouth advertising.
Yeah.
I had this amazing experience. I want to share it. I'm sharing my journey. Like,
Yep.
that's powerful for a clinic to share.
I think that makes sense. I think it goes back into as part of you launching this for our practice, where that's going to be one of those key points on how you generate the leads and really kind of grow that and cultivate it. So it makes sense because I think of Botox, and you can only talk about Botox so many ways on your website. How do you differentiate yourself? And
Right.
so as a practice that again is getting into, wellness and or adding on just weight loss, you think about how am I going to be different amongst everybody else out there that's doing this? And I think that you hit it. You've got to be authentic. You've got to tell the story. And everybody's going to have a unique story. And that makes all the difference. When you think about the way that your practices have really added this service on, do you find that they're adding more wellness services as well? Or are they just really focused on just weight loss?
It's growing.
Really?
Yeah, it's growing. I think there's such a interest in additional peptides, additional therapies. Like I said, regenerative medicine is
I
coming
know.
on very, very strong. And so I think it's just opened the door
Yeah.
for a whole lot more, which is so fascinating. I just keep going back to is like, wait, I was doing this in 2010.
I know.
So it just feels like, why now? And,
Yeah.
we had other weight loss,
True.
methods then, the good old HCG
Mm-hmm.
program, which was impossible to manage because it
Mm-hmm.
was the low calorie, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
And people were starving all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So semaglutide's a gift.
Yeah.
All of those medications and the GLP-1s, because they're not hungry. Patients are not hungry.
No, it's true. I mean, it. I think though you're right. It's not new. It's just now we've got a new drug,
Right.
and the new drug is so successful, and it's almost too easy.
Right.
I mean, it's just easy.
Right.
I mean, you're
Right.
not hungry, you're not starving, and you're losing weight.
And from a business perspective, the fact that it became so popular and that we got the weight loss clearance on the FDA side for those medications, and then it skyrocketed and the demand was so huge that it wasn't available.
Right.
Now it opened the door for our compounding pharmacies and so many more practices to get involved.
Yeah, I cannot believe the growth and the change. So, thinking about how popular weight loss is, do you think that there are other wellness services, like we're hearing about IV therapy and hormone replacement therapy? Do you think that those types of services will grow in popularity because of this new type of patient that's coming into the practice? I mean, I'm going back to thinking about now we've got a type of patient that would probably never come to a med spa before, but they're coming because, or even plastic surgery, they're coming in because now they want to go through a weight loss program. And they're being introduced to things like Botox and other wellness services. Do you think that now patient that's focused on wellness will start to gravitate towards these other wellness services?
The wellness industry as a whole is growing enormously. There's a McKinsey study out there, I think I sent it to you,
Yep.
that shows the demand and how it's growing. So yes, is my answer. Again, it's funny because I've thought about it holistically for so long. So maybe it's that this particular niche of weight loss, which has been generationally impossible to treat, like without bariatric surgery or to have a medication now
Yeah.
to help us, diabetics in particular, like really lose the weight has opened this door now. So we're reaching a broader audience
Yes.
with more alternative therapies is
Yeah.
how I am seeing it, I guess.
Yeah. I think that the new type of patient that's going to come into these practices is initially going to be opportunity and also a little bit of a struggle for some of these, practices are very used to that aesthetic patient. They know their demands, they know their needs, they know what their profile is. And now you're going to have a different type of profile that's entering these practices. I think we're going to see a shift a little bit and then probably go through some levels of a different type of training that we have to do in coaching with our staff members, because it's just like dealing with those practices that, have always done aesthetics, always know what to expect. And now they've got this different type of patient that they're now treating.
Trust me,
Yeah.
the female hormone patient is one of the worst.
There you go. So, yeah.
Lots of ups and downs in the journey. Yep. I imagine there's lots of ups and downs for people emotionally and weight loss as well. But yeah, you start opening the door to trying to feel better and improve these things. And in particular, if we're dealing with hormones, there's a lot of side effects and, moods. And that doesn't always portray well when they're coming back to you, unhappy. Wait, what happened? Or that. So there's a lot more patient counseling is my point, really. Right. And again, why you need a champion who really cares about that patient as a whole, that will walk them through the journey and be available for some of those questions.
A lot of times I think about the plastic surgery practice, especially those that do breast reconstruction, because it's a long journey for those patients. And they're used to doing more of that hand-holding and coaching and counseling them and listening to them, having a listening. And so they've cultivated a type of champion in the practice or patient coordinator to really manage that, because they're used to that long journey. But now as I think about it and talking to you, I don't know that med spas are going to be as equipped to do that, simply because they're so used to that quick fix, quick
immediate
resolution.
gratification.
Exactly. Yep. And those patients they're happy immediately. Yep. They're not necessarily going through the changes of the emotional, it's the emotional changes. And then a lot of times the med spas tend to have a younger staff, and they're not as in tune to managing that. So I think there's some challenges that we're going to start to see in the med spa industry with staffing if they bring this type of patient into their practice. And I think it's going to evoke a whole different level of education, especially for consultants.
Yeah. I have clients that won't bring it on.
Really?
Because of that very reason.
Now that's insightful. That's very insightful that they would recognize.
They understand that, oh my goodness, this is just a level of patient care I'm not prepared to give.
Wow. That's interesting. I had not thought about it from that sense, but now that you think about it and you say it, I mean, it's important that a practice would recognize that that's something that they're going to have to take on. And like I said, when we started this conversation, people are rushing into it. They're not setting the stage. They're not understanding what they're going to have to do to manage this patient. And I think that they're going to have some fails.
Yeah,
for sure. This has been great to talk to you about it. I love that you came onto the podcast. I appreciate it. Any last parting words for our audience?
Thank you for having me, Robin. I would just say that wellness as a whole, again, like we said, the industry is growing. It's a huge opportunity for our entire industry to be treating people internally and externally. I think it's a great opportunity because we're all about longevity. And the whole reason we do aesthetic treatments is to look younger longer.
Right.
But don't we want to feel good too? Right. So I think it's a really important growth and super exciting.
Yeah.
But definitely be thoughtful about bringing it on and make sure that you have the resources and the team to pull it off.
It'll be fun to talk to you in a year.
Yes.
To sit down again in a year from now at this show and look at what has happened in this market and to see the transition and change. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to Aesthetically Speaking, the podcast where beauty meets business, presented by Nextech. Follow and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Links to the resources mentioned on this podcast are available in your show notes. For more information about Nextech, visit nextech.com, or to learn more about TouchMD, go to touchmd.com. Aesthetically Speaking is a production of The Axis, THEAXIS.io.